All right, I'm back. I'm back from outer space. Hello, hello. For our techware, it's really only I'm not even sure if I want to separate any of this. I think it should all just be one toggle because it's so interconnected here. I feel like it could easily look quite odd otherwise. Mm. Rather, would bring the belt forward. That far. Just enough to get over this cable. All right, so pick some of that minor clipping. Now we should add some physics. PEP. We have the hair that we need. Let's quickly steal a few. Should steal a few from the original avatar. Let's use the original. And we're going to unpack this completely. I should actually return it to 0. Take the hair and that's pretty much it. Oh. Okay, so the 2 tassels and the hair now have fizz bones. And then we just want the little plastic thing as well. Bada boom. All right. Before we continue for these objects here, they need parent constraint. Interesting. Maybe instead of that. Hey there, Pixie. OMG, my ears work now for head pats. I did it. Hey, that's awesome. Congrats. move it back or forward. Parent. No, that's the whole point. We're not going to parent this. Not exactly. We want the cursor here. Here. We want to set this to the cursor. All right, and that way it'll be spot. Yes. Okay. Okay, that should work. When you say they work for head pats, does that mean that an animation plays when they get head pat, or they're interactable now? Strange, but this may work better. Where I take the bone, this, and we put it here as well. That way, they all rotate. I think that works. Now, that should help quite a bit. All right. Then I'm going to create an empty here. Move this empty into B. The spine, second spine here. We'll call this target. On target, constraint target, hoodie, spine. All right. Don't change any rotation. Now this object will go between two sources, the head and the common target. And we'll say 0 activate. Set it to just the head. So that when the head rotates, or the neck in this case, that needs to be weighted properly. That will work. Then when we swap it, and we just rotate all this stuff back and down, Now, I think we need to remove some of the influence the neck has on the hoodie. But overall, it's looking pretty good. Also need to fix the mask, of course. Excuse me. Which all I have to do there is select this. Actually, Alt A. Select vertex groups. Go to head and assign it. Be right back, y'all. Ahoy, Era. Ahoy. Yavo. All right. So I can rotate the spine. Oh. Did it not update my mask? Of course. Of course it didn't. So select it. Yeah, assign. Because I selected it by the material. Damn, I love pickles. Pickles are the best. All right. But cool. Now we can set this all up. Still in the all day meeting, sadly, cannot hear. Sad. Do a sad face. All right. So now we start designing some stuff. 1 second while I get my Photoshop open. All right. Back to this. So this setup, and Pix was very nice enough to do send some stuff. Pixel, pixel, pixel. Bam. So go ahead and let's actually just save all these images first. Design, remembered. Make sure the difference is there. Gotcha. It's just location. Perfect. All right. So we're going to save some files. Make a folder for this. decals. Got this one, and this one, this one. Perfect. All right. So this is basically what we're going for here, right here. It's just dun, dun, dun. And so this is what we're going for here. Pix's outfit. But basically, we do have almost the entire decal step set up already. Pix sent us a very good setup here. Like this. Then we have the locations, which we'll reference off screen, and this spinal kind of symbol. So I think we'll do something like that. Actually, if it repeats perfectly, we may as well just fill it up completely on the bottom. All right. Though we will make sure it is actually white on the back, just a very, very light gray. All right, just do something like that. Same with here as well. All right. Interesting. What if I just set this to multiply? All right. So in Blender, we're going to reference these images. By opening that file. Yeah. Then out. Do need that second layer. And now it's a discard layer. Technically, we don't need it. let's go in here, select Techware, select separate. Just remove that selection for now. We can delete the discard layer, or I want to copy the name of it, delete this, delete this, and bring it back. I just leave it like that. For the main body, we've just kind of created the setup for this stuff, but reality is that this one, it's not actually needed. So yeah, we're just going to get rid of it. So, all right. Now, we do need the second app just for our logo here. Let's go to our texture and let's drop that one in. Techware, Pix, Tech. Decals. There we go. A little bit of an odd look, but we can live with that. And then once again, referring to our full reference image. So one weird thing about this is that, or one thing we'll have to do is there's a certain way that this is laid out, whereas just in our Photoshop image, everything's all together. Just going to copy this image, paste it. I'm also going to go to the guides. New guide layout. We'll do 6 by 6. And then for this, I just want this section right here. Actually, that's fine. Boom, Control I, B. That, and then just say Control U, black. All right. So the one thing we do want to change about it is the symbol up top should be this one. So that's here. Grab it. Move it over here. On this one, we'll select these two. Then on this one, we'll just paint this out. All right. Kind of like that. All right, save. Back to Blender. I'll refresh this image, and we're going to take section right here, do a U, project from view. And suppose we want this one to be the main display. Pretty hard to tell what's going on there. Let's go ahead and just take a mix RGB, drop this in the alpha. There we go. All right. So that's good. Got one, there's a little triangle in the corner, which should be this here. Take this. Boom. No, put it right there. This one's pretty small. I should be able to get away maybe with just one square. And that goes right into the bottom there. You project from view. It does have this little line up top. Do we need it? And then we'll have the spine thing on the back. Don't worry about it being a little inexact right now. This goes up quite far, actually. Say right there. All right. There's definitely a white boundary on this one. We can go back here and just darken it. Nice. Then we're going to get the Oni. Yeah, Oni underline. Oni. All right. So for that one, we want a section. like that. Just want to delete the edges. Delete the edges where they'll line up with the delete. All right, suddenly that stopped working. It's the magic of Photoshop. All right, see how that goes. What do we think? One more size up, a little bit bigger. Oh, I'm missing some text. So definitely lower, like right there. A little bit more zoomed in. And we need that text below. That's looking pretty good though. Ignore the random text. Now this one, I missed. There's a map. A map. That should be 8 on the list right here. This chunk of text. Okay. Copy this. Move it. Move it down. A little bit smaller, right around there. Then, boom. Well, actually, I'd rather mask it. Control I, mask. All right, that looks good. Next, we do have an 11. These two, which actually are in a very good spot for this. In fact, I think we'll just duplicate this layer. Everything feels like it already lines up for this, so go here. L, L, but it is really only this bottom section starting right about there that we want. Line up right there. Line up right there. Right. But the text on the left actually requires some additional work because the outfit itself, the tassels are inverted in color. Oh, thank you, Snardom. Also, hello. Just rendered a little bit of work while eating, have a break. Too bad I have my 360 cam active, not my recorder cam. Well, I'm glad you had a good break. So I'm going to do this again. And for one of them, I'll rasterize them. And delete this side. I'm going to move this over. Perfect. I'm going to move this one over here. This one over here. Which will be, because this overlaps a little bit. Fuck. Give it some space. Because we have to fill it in with a color. This color. I should have gone the other way. But save, return here, Alt-R, and this tassel goes here. We need to extend it lower take the rest of the taskbar. Just put it here. So this gets the color. Why isn't this section displaying the text? Gotcha. It's because of how I set up the shader. Kind of cool. There we go. All right. Perfect. So let's take both of these. Let me move this one down. Hello, Draw for Food. Welcome. How is your day going? Welcome to the stream. There we go. All right, so now we got the text on both of those. Next, we want to get it onto this sleeve portion. Oh, and there's also a little bit right down there. Excuse me. Which technically is covered up. Uh, Is it easier to do image projections on a 2D software than Substance? Uh, do you mean like it really depends on the nature of your UV maps. If your UV map is nice and straightened out, then it's very easy to do in a 2D software. But uh, that's because I've taken the time to create very um, straightened out maps. So if I go here, you can see how they're very nicely gridded. And that's what lets me easily add that kind of easily work with them because they're very predictable in how they map to the 3D surface. But that being said, I still tend to use 3D projections, image projections in Substance very frequently because they're still very, very useful. Um, especially for like wrinkles and folds, things like that. I love using it for that. Hopefully that answers your question. I think that's what you're asking. Makes sense. Just curious why you were using Photoshop. Gotcha. Yeah. So a lot of the times I use Substance Painter, but for I do Substance Painter for all the base texturing. But then with the Poyomi shader, you can add decals or additional sets of images onto the avatar. So that allows me um, to add additional maps. So I gotta keep because I have this body is actually symmetrical for the most part with the textures and mapping, but I can go in and add little decals in specific spots. And it's just a little nicer in Photoshop for these little decal stuff. Ideally, I would be able to do everything in Substance. And maybe in the future I'll do that because there's definitely some advantages there. The biggest reason I don't is that um, Substance Painter only supports one UV channel. If they had the ability to add multiple UV channels to the same mesh or work with multiple UV channels, that would be cool. But I don't know if that's possible. Either way, it's probably what I'd do. All right, so now we need the sleeve. This sleeve, which uses the image. Where's the image? Where's the image? Nine. That will be this one here. This is number 9. We'll probably put it right there. Wait. There we go. So now I can take this portion of the sleeve. The difficulty is knowing which one corresponds with the meta. So it's maybe a little bit more challenging. Like, I can actually just go here. Add this here. Then we need the EUV map. Bam. All right, there we go. Now we can ensure we know what we're looking at and seeing what the final result will be. Perfect. So this here does need to be lowered right about there, so, which means we can take these faces, shrink them down, stick them somewhere. No, I need to shrink it the other way. All right, that looks pretty good. Be a little bit tilted. Next, I think we're almost there. We have one little. We also need to go in and make sure there's no gray values. Combine these. Do this. Invert. Mask. Ah, I must have. Gotcha. Hey there, Val. Okay. Welcome, welcome. I'm making some additional decals, or so 4 pics. We've gotten him mostly in the editor or in Unity now, but we just need to put some final little textures in certain spots. So that's what we're adding right now. But well, hope you're having a good day. Good Monday. Back to Monday. The week resets. It's going to be really hard to see this text. It's supposed to be basically behind this little satchel, but I think I'm going to put it here up front, like this section. Like that. And then, of course, move this forward. All right. So I think we've got pretty much everything we want positioned. So now let's grab all the little tiles we've made. They're just these oddly large chunks that are strewn about. Is that not all of them? There should be one on this section. No, because I moved it. Right. Anyway, take all these, S0. All right, let's say S.01. That way, actually, even better idea. Let's pop this open. Move these back to 0. Say S.6, S.001. All right. So that way they're there, just very tiny. If I ever need them back, I can scale it up. I'm not just deleting willy-nilly. All right, let's go ahead and export. AutoRig Pro, boom. Wait for it to finish exporting. And then we can go Photoshop, File, Export, Quick Export PNG. Need to get this file first. Techwear decals. Perfect. Save. If we go here, we now have Techwear decals. It's probably going to look a little odd, though. Also, interesting. That means we're going to have to change a little bit of stuff from the original one. Darn. Colors. Decal. Decal 1. Set 2. UV1. Should be right. Working. Hmm. Is it not exporting properly? That'd be surprising. Everything's applied. Is it simply transparency issues? Do we see anything on the back? We see a little bit of something. Let's make sure we're on the right map. It's like it didn't. It's like the map didn't export at all. Nothing in the settings. It has to be either something with a shader or something. Should have this UV. Go ahead and reset this. Let's try the color masking. Oh, there we go. Something's a little bit odd about the decals that every time I come back to using the decals, I've had some trouble with them. So I know exactly what's going on there. All right, but now we need to work to get rid of this transparency stuff. Here, Photoshop. Let's add the background in, and we can see pretty clearly what issues remain. Last one. This one. And then we can take the background, move it up top, hit it with this, Control I, save. For some reason that seems to work really well. Saving. PNGs from Photoshop. Transparency can get weird. There we go. Now it's perfect. And what's fun about this is you can have a lot of difference in resolution. So this is pretty, a lot more detailed than you would expect from drawing. I'll have to redo this section here, radiation protection. All right. That's good. Do, 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 do. Photoshop just loves yelling. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. No. There we go. Nice. Crispy. All right. So those look good. Got a lot of nice details in there. A lot of things coming together. Adding up. Get it. Get it. Huh. What just happened? Something with the color masking. All right. Boys looking good. Let's hit play and just see what the Fizzbones do. All right, some nice movement. Pretty much all three of these, what we would want are first to turn on gravity, and then we want the limit to be a polar limit. Kind of pushes out that way. That way it won't fall forward. Hair is going to clip with the hoodie a little bit unless we turn it off. But we want this. Polar 40. Good to go. You don't want posing for any of that. Alrighty. So now we need to set up some animations so we can actually toggle some things. This might need to be white instead. Nice. I really like how the cabling came out. I think that looks dope. Very candy-like. I like that. I like when things feel tasty, crunchy. Ah. Okay, so let's make some animations. First, we have our animators. Like crayon scented markers or glue. Exactly. All that delicious, delicious candy from my childhood. So we're going to copy these, paste them here, move that. But that should have set up everything properly. Bam. Bam. Bada boom. That all should be working correctly. Thankfully, I always have a backup for the body. So if things do really break, let's reuse them. Bada boom. Nice, nice. All right, so everything's pointed at the new assets. Good. Next, we're going to take a look at the clip shapes for the avatar. Uh, so this should be on the first UV map. And we'll start with just backwear and plastic, I suppose. Basically, everything but this should be toggleable. Okay, let's redo that. First tab, Alt A, select, separate. All right, so oops. That's the difficulty, isn't it? We do want the belt. This may look quite odd though. But that's why we're testing it. What does this look like? Is why we're testing. Oh, So this isn't bad. It would just be nice if it looked like the belts were attaching to something. So if we just had some line on the texture, that'd be all we really need to sell the look. Then for the mask, right now for the mask object, now everything is assigned to the same material, which is most likely a good thing. But I'm guessing it's going to look a little bit odd. So what would be good to do is find a spot on the mask. Oh, that's not bad at all, actually. I think we're just going to do exactly. Oh, but then. Oh, gotcha. And I see what's happening. The normals are the other way around. Yes, that is what it is. But do I want to undo that? I don't know. It looks. I like just the solid black for the break. That'd be the simplest solution. So I think I'm gonna just embrace that. Okay. Embraced. Now. What? Whoa, whoa. No. Now we need clip shapes for the body that reflect this character. But we may already have them. Let's double check what we can toggle here. So these are the whole body. You have to know what's actually getting turned off. So body. Right. It's on UV1 right now. We want UV0. Nope. Okay, we totally reset that. Okay. Which is fine. So now we go to body. We want to think about what should not be visible. So here's the belt right here. Belt's right there, and we have the belt buckles. Okay, I see it now. something like that. I didn't actually move anything yet. We just want to invert and then deselect all other materials. And this is what we'll move up. No, let's go back. Just the legs. These will move up one. G1. Then we invert. Then we deselect everything. Boom, 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 boom. And this is what we move up 2 spots. Take it back again. None of this needs to be disabled. None of the head needs to be disabled. The hand, probably not. Okay. All right. So now we can turn off the legs. Why wouldn't that work? On the right UV map. So 2 leaves the waist intact, and we can also turn off the chest when the top is enabled as well. One exception though needs to be this spot here. So let's back up a few steps. All right, now we can move it up too. I'll also just go and add. Boom. Okay. But that means that that section should still be visible because we will see it. Okay. Do, 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 do. All right. There we go. So now we have the toggles we need. Now we need to create the animations to actually manipulate the toggles. And to do that, delete this. Yes. None of these are going to work. We need to actually change the location. Now let's make sure we rename them. Nice. Dang it. All right. There we go. So we just want to change those, make sure that they're set up to use correct ones. We're going to add to our animator the X2 playable layers. Start with the FX one. And what we'll do is just make sure we have all, and I don't need these. Nothing in here I need. Should work. Let's check. XV2. Awesome. So now we just got to go through and rename all this. There's got to be a better way for this to do this. Oh, I'm feeling better. I'm sorry, I don't speak Unity. There we go. All right, so now all of the animations should be updated. Well, the animation clips that are, the animator is not. So let's go in here, slap these in, fix two. Bada boom. For the mask, let's do this too. I'm just doing all these name changes so I do not mess up what's what. Excuse me. Oh, gotcha for that. Now I want to take these two options. Oh, why purple? Interesting. Why would that make it purple? Um, that's odd. But I guess if we're already using transparent, I could just instead do the alpha cutoff. Hmm. It's a little odd. Then this one, we just need these two. We'll include the bottom one. I don't even think we need it though. And for our previous materials, they should be set up correctly. But yeah, good idea to just take a look just in case. All right, so lock them in. Loading, loading, loading. Right. All right, now we can go to the Steph mask on. Delete that. Hit record, go to body. Go to the body material. And I believe that's this one. I believe I'm wrong. Sorry, not body. Clothes. Yeah. Boom. Perfect. You copy this material. Go to mask off. Delete. Paste. 0. For now. I have them backwards. There. All right, so now we can toggle that. Next, we'll do jacket on cord. Go to the body. Jacket is tech wear. Special effects. Should be this one. Okay. Duplicate. Off. Awesome. Next, we have this voice light, which changes an emissive property on the material. I think that should just be working. Which means that we're done? No. We have a Boolean value for takes footy. Very cool. Interesting. That's going to be quite useful. Let's back up a few steps. Delete this one. And just rename this one. That way, they're hooked up. Nice. Already that add-on is worth it. Perfect. Perfect. Now we can drop this in. Takes V2, buddy. Let's do it up and down. Board. Ah. Uh, you can animate bones in the FX layer. It's just humanoid bones you can't mess with. So this should work fine. All right. So what we want to do is go to the hood parent. We want these values. So add them. And then we also want these values here. Okay. That's good with me. These are in the wrong animation. Needs to go hoodie up, paste back to sad or neutral, whatever it was. Neutral. Delete those because we don't want that in our expression. All right, and then duplicate. And for hoodie down, which will go here. We want to first switch this to, actually it should be on the spine here. The other one should flip to the head. Whatever. Rotate this back and rotate this back. There we go. Got a hoodie. Can I scale this? Interesting. I don't think I want to do that, but it's interesting that you can. All right, I think that's good. Back hoodie up. You flip the values to be that. So this way it's listening to the head, and then we can flip it to attach only to the neck. Hood up, hood down. Perfect. And the hoodie will be on to start with. Mask will be on to start with. Oh, last thing was for the hoodie, when it's on, we want the hair, Fizzbone, to be off. And that should be even more true for the jacket. When the jacket is off, then we also want this. enabled. Yeah. All right, let's test. All right, so we can turn the jacket off and on. We can flip the hoodie up and down. I think it'd be fun to change that transition time so it like actually moves back a little bit. But that's pretty awesome on its own. Um, the mask, of course, can be toggled. Nice. The voice. Should be changing the glow on these. Doesn't seem like it is. So undo this. Go back to the layers. Body, I mean. Voice light off. Preview. This should have set the body clothes emission strength to 0. To me, it looks like there's some glowing. But the emission strength is 0 right now. And it's 1 there. So maybe I just can't see it with this lighting setup. Let's try night. Play again. No, not just me. Something's off about the emission. Ah, that's right. It is working. But I remember now the decal that actually moved up and down was just the little symbol on the side. But there is no slider for this. Gotcha. All right. I think I'd rather keep things consistent. So we're just going to remove the voice layer. Or we're just going to turn it off for now. So it doesn't have any effect. I think that's about it. That really could be almost everything. Oh, the gun, of course. The gun. So we need to get a gun in here. Go ahead back to here, Unity. But we're not going to export the gun with our normal methods. Instead, we'll use the standard Unity export. let's make sure we have selected objects on. Okay. First thing we add is which we'll call props. Which will add parent constraint 2. How does that work again? I need to look at Pepper really quick. Oh. I need to make some thumbnails too. Alright, so Pepper has some props. Prop controller is just this world constraint object. But these don't target it in any way. They just happen to be inside an object with a parent constraint on, which this gets turned off. Or no, this gets turned off. And that's what lets them float. 90% sure. Let's double check that. Yes. The prop controller and then each individual object. Okay. Back to here. Save. Actually, back to Unity. Pix. So yeah. We add the props with the parent constraint set to where is that? That is duplicate. World constraint. And we'll drop that in the animations. World constraint. Doesn't really even matter what it is. Just has to be an object that's not in your scene. That's it. All right. Next, we'll put the gun in the props. And on the gun, we'll also add a parent constraint. Okay. So it's going to have a few different sources. The root, each hand, and I guess each hip. So I have the root. Time to make some objects. Make them right here, just in the scene. Create empty. Con target. Gun. and L. And then, actually, I won't do that one just yet. So gun, stir. All right. So looking at these, the holster would of course be right there on the hip. And let's go ahead and just add it to it right now. First, set these all to 0. And hit activate. 0. Shouldn't really move at all. Then we'll put this here and say 1. No. Put that there and the holster here. Set it to holster. Oh, that's a big gun. Then we'll just rotate that so that it kind of lines up in a nice way. Something that feels reasonable. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to take the this holster, duplicate, rename it, and move it to the other side. You'll notice that I'm doing all of this outside of the skeleton hierarchy. Very important, because then I can just flip the values and it's in the right spot. The rotation will be off, but it's in the right spot. Then we'll put in the gun holster R right there, set to the R, rotate it this way, and we're pretty much good to go. Oh. So we can do that. Hand. Okay, let's put it in the hand. This will be the left hand. Excuse me. That looks pretty good. Duplicate it. Now it's the right hand. Move it up. Flip it. Let's set the gun to target the right hand. And now we can just mosey it in. Something like that. All right. So now we have all the different spots that we would want the gun to go, but they're in the wrong hierarchy, we need to go ahead and assign them. So, for example, the holsters need to go onto the hips right here. Then the hands are in here somewhere. And hand are this one. And oops. Boom. All right. So now they're tucked away into the avatar. Those are the different positions, excluding the world position. Excuse me. Next is the creation. Call this gun context. Be right back. I'm going to go to the restroom. All right, we're back. I like the broken mask. That looks cool. Honestly, it looks really good. Okay. All right. The gun. We have the gun in one or two positions. What we'd like to do now is be able to move das Gun. Just to test, I'm going to hit play mode and just make sure I have my world context set up correctly. So when I turn this off, then I should be able to move. Yes. Okay, perfect. So that means you can leave it in the air or on a table or something. Feels a little bit more like an actual item. Can't wait till VRChat has some actual support for objects, avatar objects. Who knows if that will happen though? Okay, but in order to use the gun correctly, it needs to know, we need to be able to know where it is, what it's touching. So to do that, we need context. So we have contact receivers and senders. We want two receivers. These are what can actually go on our con targets holsters from the gizmos. So it's just a sphere. That should be fine. Set it down to 0.1. Yeah, a little bit bigger. Like 125. All right. Let me go back to look at Pepper really quick. Just double check how I set up her context. So we had one for each. Hmm. One for each. Which means the gun needs to be a sender. And then for each, it's a challenge. Makes sense though. Do. So contact gun hand. So you need, for each holster, you need a sensor for each hand sensor for each, and one sensor for the gun. Yes. Okay. It's probably a better way to make the hand detectors move around. But it don't matter. So this one will be Pix V2 / holster L / hand L. Wow. Beautiful name. Then we'll need another one. R. Then we duplicate both these. All right. And with these ones, they should be on the other con target. Right there. So these two are on this one, these two are on this one. And then we'll need one more object, which will be contact sender. So it's a C person. Yeah. Good. Let's be on the gun. All right. And I want it starting out the bottom. That should be it. Ugh. Now let's make a layer. Oops. So for this, we're going to go to Pepper's animator, and we're going to copy the heck out of this because I do not want to make the same thing from scratch. No way, no how. Copy everything. Hello, absolutely not poop. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. How's your day going? Time to rename all this. Pix V2. Gun. Let's just say Pix gun root. Not good, as usual. I got them to play. Uh-oh. spot cheat most of the games I had. Well, poo poo on you. Well, no wonder you're not getting the engagement you want out of them. That's a bummer. All right. Got 1, 2, 3. And now this is definitely a trigger that I would have liked to start with. That's basically just this. Yeah. Okay. Something like this. But we do need to redo all the transitions. All of the transitions. All the transitions. Picks gun for so all the different states 0, 1, 2, 3. Should actually be 5 because 7. It was so I ain't tempted no more because soon I'm going to college and I just play too much games. That's fair. Gotta gotta set some goals for yourself that go out, do things, get some sun. 7 hour meeting. Oh, for 7 hours. Did they just make you work the whole time? Why a 7 hour meeting? Hand L. It should be hand R. But since I'm gonna get a job, am I just cheating games only instead of playing them normally? Well, I feel like that kind of takes away from a sense of achievement. It's like reading the Spark Note. Surprising how easy it is to not get banned. That I'm not too surprised by. Seven-hour working session that was primarily spent waiting for something to happen that never happened. Hopefully that's a good thing. Definitely annoying to be sitting there waiting that long, but hopefully it just meant a bad thing didn't happen. You surprised I last 5 months on COD without getting banned? I mean, it is what it is. Double spacing, double font spacing. I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and it's bad because we finally gave up. They asked why stuff wasn't done yet. Heck yeah, Blender forever. Well, they asked you to stay in a meeting that long, and then we're wondered why things weren't getting done. Management, I tell you, classic management move. Okay, so go here. So at any point, actually, let's see this tool I bought. Clear? No. Dread tools. So I have to select something. So let's say transition. States. Controller. Don't need to copy anything. But I would like. This is interesting. Shared conditions. What does that mean? Long story short, we waited 7 hours to test something. We need the devs to make it so we could. Finally said we'll test tomorrow. The devs say we need it done today. Oh boy. Small vent over. Well, hopefully you get some peace and quiet to get some actual work done. Just fire your boss. Done. Easy. Oh. It says making transitions. I do. All right. Guess it works though. The devs, fire them, please. Oh boy. Transition galore. Does not have exit time. No duration. Can transition to itself. I don't think we want it. 0. Shared conditions. So if we add a condition, let's say, what does that do? Do we now have something there? So if we remove that, it deletes it for just that one. Nice. But we will probably want that. Do you use UV squares add-on? I have another one. I'm out of work and it's not my boss, the devs fire them. The UV squares add-on, I have heard of it, but I don't use it personally. But if it helps you get stuff done, then definitely worth checking out. I just haven't used it myself. It depends on if you're doing a lot of texturing. You'd probably want something for it. Definitely worth checking out. Here and here. So these ones need to share. I keep closing this tab, but I need this. Put it in the scene here. I guess here for now. Well, it just means you got to make something. So for this, make our parameters do a bool, and I think I set one up earlier. Yes, with this. So this is our naming convention. Pix v2 holster hand R. And let's copy that for all of these. Oops. And lastly, boom, boom, L, L. Okay. Now it goes up here. This one goes up there. LL, LR, LM, RL, RR. Perfect. So those are all of those. Then we'll want something like boom, holstered, or touching holster. Something like that. Glad I can get substances for free. To touching holster. Touch it to the holster, and the hand has it. Then you grab, click. That's what will trigger it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. That should be everything we need right there. That's the core of it. All right, so for the root, hidden and disabled, we want to be able to transition to this. Oh yeah, then we need one more bool itself just for Pixiv v2. Yeah. Oops. Okay. So if it's true, blah, 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 we start using it. But if it's false, then we go straight to turned off. Awesome. Just let me know if you need it. Tax will be issued for the info, though. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. I like keeping my substance up to date. And then go here. These are the conditions. They all need to have, to start with, the gun Boolean. Actually, they all. Start. Actually, interesting. There should be no way to go back here from this direction. Once it's enabled, then it's on the hips. It'll be the left hip. Interesting. And then it goes around its circle. But by default, it'll always go to the left hip once the gun is true. And then when it's false, it goes back to the root. Okay, perfect. I think taking someone else's software and trying to sell it is called theft. I think it's more about like kind of an internal moral code, something resembling a spine or ethics. All right. So once it's here, it can only leave this holster. So it can leave the holster and go to the hand. Those are the only directions it can go. So all these need Pixel 2. Not selling their software, I'm selling information about their software. And just touching it. And a gesture. Ah, snap. Making it for the wrong thing. So, boom, boom. Should be when a gesture equals something and when a hand is touching it. In this case, holster L and R. Holster L. So when the left hand is touching the left holster, and gesture left equals 0. So that's the left hand grabbing it in the left holster. All right. For these, get rid of those. Here, when it's going, it's a little hard to see which direction it is. It's got to be that way. So from left to right hand, when gesture. Oh. Gesture right equals 0. And R equals true. That looks correct. Boom. think we also want to include that the other hand can't be touching it. Ah, of course, it gives me like the smallest window to select things from. uh, and left, false. All right, so this one only the right hand can be touching, and with this one only the left hand can be touching. Perfect. And to get it back, it basically has to go the exact same way. Now this one is gesture right. Trying to put it back. Okay, so now we have all of those. Oh, motherfucker. I have to add them here. It's going to take me a while to get used to that. Gesture right equals 0. All right, so these are the conditions we're concerned about. When it's in the right holster, to go to hand R, only hand R can be touching it. And what's in the right holster, then the left hand is touching it, the right hand cannot be, and then gesture left equals 0 because we're grabbing with the left hand. This one, grab with the right hand. And we're putting it back with the left hand. Gesture left equals 0, and only the left hand is touching. And the right hand is touching. Perfect. Okay. So it's the exact same condition, exact same set of conditions going in and out. So I have to make sure there is a certain amount of time that has to pass in order for these to happen. Say 0.5, 0.2. I believe it would have to happen pretty quick. All right. Anyway, so now it's in the hand. Now we have the gun in the hand. We could put it back in the holster, but now we want to be able to set it into the world. Interesting. Right now, there is nothing on the gun. We have a sender on the gun, but we don't have a receiver on the gun. Interesting. I could move the receivers around. That seems odd. And we have the budget to add another receiver. Contact receiver. Go. And we'll go ahead and just copy this component. Paste component as new. Set it to the gun. And it's going to motherfucker. These always end up being more challenging than I want them to be. So when the hand has grabbed, okay, that's fine. So we want pix v2 gun touched. And then we can but then how do I know which hand to send it to? I have to have two contact receivers. Fascinating. Fascinating. That's a little bit trickier than I would like. It's a little bit more convoluted. Let's just double check Pepper again. I want to take a look at her FX layer. So for the prop here, to go back, it was looking for the hand touching. Oh! Okay, okay. If the if both hand sensors are on the gun, oh snap. If both the hand sensors are on the gun, then depending on which hip it's on, I can always turn off the other sensor so there's no interference, or just remove it from the transition. So it probably doesn't even read the condition about the other hand, because it's just whatever hand makes a grab while touching it. Nice, that works. Then I'll always know if the other hand is trying to grab it. That's pretty simple. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Good. This really simplifies my whole little setup here. Hey there, Fofodor. I'm having to lean back for this one. I got to put on my thinking face, my thinking cap. How's your day going, Fofodor? No thinking, only action. It's going. I made a big mistake though. I was doing these shape keys before I applied the mirror modifier. No, the curse, the curse. Um, I certainly have made that before. The mesh data transfer modifier would help you out in that case. Trying to see if there's a way to save them. There is. There is. I know the power. Um, basically, oh, let me think about that. Should work. Hmm. Um, what the heck are those animation states? They look different. So I did get an add-on for bought an add-on to help set up transitions and things like that. It's called Dread Tools. Um, eh, I can't say I recommend it just yet, but it is nice because you can just set up certain types of layers that are used a lot, like a toggle layer, quickly, which is nice. And you can create a parameter for it at the same time. For Frofador 4, doing the. I swear there was a way to do it in the past that I did do it with. That's tricky though. Found a script online that says it can fix, but it gave me an error sad like, yeah. If you had AutoRig Pro, um, they do have the option to export after your shape keys have been applied, including uh, so it'll apply your mirror mod and then also um, so with the FBX export settings file export AutoRig Pro, you can see that they have apply modifiers, apply subsurf, or where is it? Domain. Yeah, shape keys are supported with apply modifiers. Um, Now, it does work, and you can always bring that export that you make back in to Blender and then use the mesh data transfer to apply it over. I feel like there's another way. I just can't think of it right now. But it is, that means you'd have to pay money. Um, let's see. If I take, let's say, just the face here, duplicate it and separate it. So this will be our. Let's pull it out, turn that off. So this one's got our shape keys. Nice. All right. And we'll duplicate this one. We'll call this the body 01 mirrored. And on this one, we'll delete half. We still have the shape keys, but now we're using a mirror mod. One technique I was ready to make a duplicate of the mesh for each shape key and apply the mirror on each of them, then merge them back together. That sounds involved. Sounds a bit like a nightmare. And then we'll do this one, duplicate, boom. And on this, we'll call it mir01 blank. So if I delete all the shape keys here, and I get them back from the mirrored one. If I go to the blank, we use the mesh data transfer. I'm just curious if that will work. Transfer shape keys. So this is the blank one that we're looking at. Looks like it only copied half. Yeah. So delete all shape keys. I was really into Blender before when I was on a stream every day. I listened to music every time I was on Blender. Now I pretty much know every song I find on Spotify. Sample modified source. Let's try that again. Right, now it didn't transfer anything. World. Whoops. Let's copy that again. Nothing again. Just to make sure. Okay, perfect. Right, raycast. That didn't work. Also didn't work. Okay, so that's not quite working as I'd want it to. Let's look at the mirrored one again. So in this one, I have it mirrored, but I'm going to duplicate the mirror, then flip it this way, Control AS, all transforms, flip the normals. Okay. And then if I combine this way, and we take the center, and we do mesh merge by distance, my cat's yelling. All right, I think I've got a fix for you, Fedora. Do you ever seen one of my models? There's about 100 gigs of space. That's kind of sad. You should keep your work that you made. Fedora, are you there? Perfect. Perfect. Okay, yeah. If you saw me go through that, then that should work, I think. But I also have a rig to apply. Then I would definitely use the mesh data transfer. Basically, on your the shape key fix. So this version, the one I just made, where the shape key fix has been applied, you'd want to then go ahead, delete all your vertex groups on that one, and take your current version, the one with the mirror modifier, remove all the shape keys from that one, apply the mirror modifier, and then use the mesh data transfer to pull that out into your new version. And since their positioning should be 1 to 1, um, it should be exactly the same uh, weight. Um, I think there is actually even a topology option. That's only for UVs. Um, yeah, I think that should work. I think that should work. Certainly, they're kind of big steps, kind of in a not necessarily the nicest order, um, but hopefully there is a solution there. So if I guess right, make a duplicate of the mesh, one with the rig without shape keys, um, another without the rig, and the shape keys copied over and transfer the weights from the rig to the one with the shape keys. Correct, correct. Yeah, it's a little convoluted thinking about with like the shape key fix. But yeah, for the weight transfer, you basically just want to make that one with the perfect weight groups, weight paint, and then that's what you're going to extract and put onto your fixed version. And yeah, the do you remember how I've like fixed the vectors or something? I can't remember what it's called. I think Shift N is probably the hotkey that you're looking for. I'll give it a try. Sounds good. Good luck. Good luck. Certainly would love to help you sort through that. That's the kind of stuff that can really go crazy. That's the normals. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by vectors then. Professor Sam is in. Indeed. Don't have these glasses for nothing. It's the only reason I have damaged vision. So I can teach. Most likely it's related to your normals. Um, Usually a shift N will reset your normals, but you're either looking for reset vectors or I think it's reset vectors or reset normals, basically. There's two operations there. Where's your tweed suit? I demand a tweed suit or a grad cap. Give it to me. All right, so we grabbed, and then we just want to be able to grab again to let go. Your VTuber average should be a whatever animal you choose in a grad hat and tweed suit. I like that. Oops. Oh, I kind of left those parameters in. L. It's got to be the left one. I suppose it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, left one. Delete, yes. And delete, yes. These we're going to rename to just hand R and hand M. Perfect. That can be Professor Sam. Make you turn it on when you act like a teacher. Professor Sam. No problem. Touching the gun. The gun is sending out a tag. To what though? Nothing. So that's what I say. If we go this direction, then we need to know. Gotcha. One more bool for pix v2 slash holster L and R. Like that. Okay. I think that feels proper. Normally I would stay in chat, but I need to have a nap. Have a good day, Sam. Same to you, Era. Go ahead and get some rest. Hopefully tomorrow is less chaotic for you. But look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Need to find a way to do these transitions super mega fast. They take too long. Oh, well, thank you, Poop. Das Devanya. So when the gun's on, it'll pop out here. Noise. And then when we are doing this part, just focus on going out, leaving. Then we need a gesture, and we need it to be one hand at least. That's pretty much it. Okay. That's a good setup, good start. This one, gesture left equals 0, then we move that way. And on this one, when gesture right equals 0, we move it that way. I want to make, my friend asked me to make him a VR chat avatar, but I kind of gave up on it. Well, I want to finish it sometime soon, but I just cannot be asked. Well, it takes time. I think making things is a challenge. Every time you make something, there's always some element of challenge there. Impossible to avoid. There we go. All right, now let's focus on letting go of the gun. So for these, needs to be another gesture, and it needs to be another hand. That's why we need the holster sensors too. So for the data transfer, it's pretty straightforward. So say we have a cube. We've got our cube here. And it's a little hard. I'm going to shrink it. You wouldn't really want it shrink, but the most important thing is that for both your objects, everything is zeroed out. Are the weights the vertex data? Correct. So yeah, weight painting and vertex groups are technically the same thing in Blender. And then, and so when you want to target it, so say I have my cube, I just go to the sample and I select the target I want to extract data from. So basically you want to think about your main object, you're pulling data into it. And then I select the cube, and that way I can start transferring whatever I want. But again, this is really the most important part. Your transforms do have to be exactly zeroed out. Got unrigged shape key object and object. Gotcha. Perfect. Yeah, you want to select your shape key object and then pull the rigged object into it, or pull the vertex groups. But yeah, it's great too because you can use shape keys, UVs, a bunch of different types of stuff. But I mostly just do the shape keys on the vertex groups. So what's in the left hand, squeeze, and we just want to make sure that it is touched by the left hand. And here, when gesture right equals 0 and is in the right hand, then we can let it go. Perfect. And it's the same thing going back too. Boom, boom. Gesture A. Pixel 2 value. Oh, and then. And that's it. Yeah, perfect. That's why we made that change. Okay, that should work nicely. I'm hungry now. So going back from the world to the right hand, we need to make sure gesture right equals 0 and that it's the right hand. Going back here, left. Easy. Think I missed a step? What, did nothing happen? No new vertex groups. Interesting. So this is how I usually have mine set. I almost always do local and closest as my first two settings. And then, of course, just double checking everything zeroed out for your location, scale, all that kind of deal. Oh. Oh, on the one on your fixed version, the one that's taking in that new info, you'll want to delete all your vertex groups first. Oh, sorry. I thought I sent this to you last time we spoke. So I'm using the mesh data transfer, which is an add-on. Let me get that to you. My apologies. I thought I kind of skipped over that. Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's all free. Definitely one of the better add-ons I've ever used. Because it does the data transfer a lot better, in my opinion. It's a lot simpler. Remember saying this, I forgot to install it. Well, okay, that's totally fine. But just let me know once you're looking at it. And I think they have a little video going through it, but it's really nice. It's super convenient. Bam, bam. So now we can go back. Now, I also want some transitions here, which will also be the same thing. If gesture left equals 0 and it's touching the gun, then we grab gesture right equals 0 and it's touching. You do that the right way? No, I didn't. This should be right. This one should be that. All right, there we go. So now we can swap hands. Lastly, we just need to create some transitions to put them back into the holsters. Boom, boom, boom. So these are. Is there a way to turn a semicircle to be like round? I believe Shift Alt S can work for you, but you have to put your 3D cursor in the center, in the center of the circle. But Shift Alt S can work if you're in the 3D cursor pivot setting. Alternatively, and something I do quite frequently, is I just make a new circle. You have a Shift A to make a circle. Just give it the same amount of vertices or the amount of vertices you need, and then delete what you don't need. You've got a perfect semicircle. Because the Shift Alt S thing will kind of warp things sometimes. It won't be a perfect circle some of the times. It can get really close, but usually it's not perfect. Saying a semicircle is nearly a semicircle. Gotcha. Just your left. And these ones we want the holster to be considered. All right. So if it's in the left hand, then we make a gestures left. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Then holster is true. For this one, if gesture right is made, gotcha. This one, I think I may have messed it up. That's right. Well, gesture left equals 0, and XV2, transfer over, holster right needs to be true. And then for here, this should be gesture right equals 0, but then holster R is true. Because that way they're touching. All right, I think that's it. I think all we need to change now is make sure the duration and exit time settings are all the same. So has exit time? No, but it does have a fixed duration of 0.1. And can it transition to itself? No. All right. Everything seems to be good. Let's give it a shot. Right now we don't have the holster receivers set up, but it should work just fine. Stretchy hood. So, and there's nothing disabling. Okay, we should only be looking at this. We shouldn't be looking at the character. So first is gun is on. Perfect. So immediately removes it from the holster. It worked! Yay! Hey, that's good to hear. I'm happy for you, Profidor. Hopefully some pain has been saved. I did the fix. Perfect. Leveling up. It's going back and forth instantly. Too fast. How about going into the right hand? Sort of working. And then the transitions here, I would rather have it consider being bolstered first than, yeah. Wasn't as painful as I thought. It can be sometimes. I mean, just think of the people who actually exported each shape key. Whew, that'd be a nightmare. Well, good. I'm glad it wasn't as painful. You'll just want to double check that the mirror mod or flipping and merging again. Yeah, you know the deal, but I'm glad it's working for you. Oh, I should have changed the transition times. Excuse me. Going through all checks now. Transition offset. Let's do 0.5 for that transition duration. Will this work? Gun on. Perfect. Then I grab. Then I holster. That transition from here to there is not working. Let's try the left hand again. Okay, that's working though. Hmm. Can't click it fast enough for it to come back into here. Let's think about that. Settings, fixed duration, interruption, source. I think I just turn up the duration for everything a little bit more. It seemed to work well this time. Also, what's going on here? So, in order to get into holster L, I need to do gesture right. Greater. It should be equals, not greater. Okay. Again, let's just increase the duration. It's pretty cool already. Don't mind being a little bit more intentional. So this is like a fully working gun. Um, Definitely can take it off hip, place it in the world, put it on your other hip, turn it off. I have not made a shot. What would you call that? I have not made a shooting animation yet, so that'd pretty much be the last step. These holsters should be gesture bright equals 0. I mean, 0 is this one. Ah, okay, gotcha. So these all need to be 1, not 0. That's why it's behaving oddly. They need to be 1, not 0. Anyway. So we got to go through and just do this. I was trying to figure out how to do these technical avatar add-ons, but I'm just not a gun person. Fair. I don't think to add many weapons to my avatars, or when I want to make an avatar, I usually don't think of weapons. Um, but I do want like flight abilities, wings, 100% about. All right. Try that one more time. But it's definitely, I really do hope that VR chat comes out with something more like item focused, something to really allow the ability for people to create items. Because I do feel like it's a much more involved process than it needs to be currently. Inventory would be amazing. Exactly. Exactly. I just 100% that is really the only calling I feel for Neos is like, well, you can make items there. Like, yeah, maybe I'll do that. It's like Neos and Second Life works well in both of those. 100%. 100%. It's just weird. It's kind of weird that they haven't done anything with that. Hopefully soon. It's been a long time for them to not have any option for it at all. Um, if not that, then I would love something like the ability to really easily bring all of the udon add-ons together, like a default udon layer. It is kind of is in VRC. Everything gets put on the Avi all the time, and it gets bloated as hell due to it as well. 100%. 100%. Yeah. As in, that's what people are doing, as in weird. Perfect. Tummy's getting hungry. All right, I think we're good. I think we got everything set up. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna call it for now. It's 5:30. We're almost done with picks. We're gonna take tomorrow to put the final touches on him. We just need to get the gun tested, the firing down, and then the arm rotation fixed, and that's it. So very, very close to finished. Hey, same to you, Val. I hope you have a fantastic one, and thank you all for hanging out with me this afternoon. Fun catching up with y'all, and hope that we weathered a Monday together. It definitely feels very much like a Monday to me. But I'm looking forward to Tuesday. We'll get back in the rhythm of things and just get excited, invested in getting this stuff done. But yeah, Frofador, wish you well with your current commission. Snardom, thank you for coming by, talking Blender. Poop, hope you're having a good time with your games. And Blender as well. Arrows are gone for the day. But yeah, Arctic, if you're out there, hope you're having an amazing one. Thanks for the help. My pleasure. It's definitely my pleasure there. Good job, good job. See you later. Thank you, Snardom. Yeah, you all have an amazing rest of your day. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Bye. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.